back to Corporate Travel News, your one-stop shop for corporate travel. My name is Melissa Tanuz, and I'm here to bring you the latest news about the travel world. Our travel industry has been greatly impacted by COVID-19 since January. The infection rates vary greatly from market to market, as does the border policies imposed by each country's government. As more cases appear and lockdowns are renewed, the travel sector has no choice but to mitigate the damages and adjust operations to the current times. Watching Asia-Pacific countries recover from the pandemic brings hope that we'll be able to resume business travel, regenerate businesses, and have economic relief once we're able to stop the virus. The BTN 2020 State of the Industry report gives us an idea of how companies are adapting in face of unpredictability and how they are planning to recover from this challenging era. Several travel managers are planning to redesign their travel programs in order to address and remediate issues that have affected our lives prior to the pandemic. One of their main concerns that has intensified given the pandemic is the increased geopolitical friction. Several travel managers are planning to redesign their travel programs in order to address and remediate issues that have affected our lives prior to the pandemic. One of their main concerns that has intensified given the pandemic is the increased geopolitical friction. Travel management has been affected by the ruptured relationship between various countries due to social upheaval generated by government policies, namely tariffs and restrictions on trade. This issue preceded the pandemic, given that trade issues were already causing a contraction in earnings during the third and fourth quarters in 2019. Business travel has also been challenged by scarcity in resources, business value, and government finances, which affect the industry's policies and logistics. 2020 has also brought many social issues to the forefront of conversations both inside and outside the office. Systemic racism, social injustice, and unconscious bias became major issues many CEOs not only addressed, but also made an effort to make significant changes to their company's diversity and operations. Several corporate leaders are looking to push sourcing officers to broaden the net of candidates for travel partnership with the goal to ensure a level playing field. Another major concern amongst travel managers is climate change. According to Catherine Bell, BCG's Managing Director and Partner, Global Operations Services, the company is trying to efficiently reduce their carbon emissions without compromising the value provided to their clients. At the same time, travel technologists are researching how to make carbon measurements easier for those travel managers who don't have sustainability officers to help. Trust Carbon is an example of a data service that provides emissions data and is looking to book key partnerships in the corporate travel industry. As the new year approaches, companies are preparing for a turbulent 2021 and have turned to private and government sources for relief. It has been a tough year for the industry suppliers as they keep a careful eye on the bottom line and hope for a successful development and testing of a vaccine that would allow us to go back to normal, however normal may look like after 2020. 80% of travel managers hope that global testing schemes will allow international business travel to resume its activities. At the moment, the mandatory quarantine after outbound and/or inbound trips is the biggest inhibitor of international travel. The 14 days of isolation have made business travel more expensive, unproductive, and stressful, which is why many companies are opting out at the moment. According to the travel industry, the solution to this problem is an international testing regime to ensure consistency and safety to passengers all around the globe. This would solve a major problem in business travel, but unfortunately, it's not the only one. In order to keep business thriving in 2021, many travel managers will have to prioritize flex contracts, compliance, and safe returns. 2020 has changed our lives completely, and it has also deployed business travel companies' TMC relationships. According to JC Tony Buccalow, Travel Perks Chief Commercial Officer, corporations are stuck in a conundrum by trying to save money and provide the necessary assistance to their travelers at the same time. He says that while we are experiencing a health crisis, an economic crisis is also approaching quickly. At the moment, travel managers need to focus on curating, integrating, and personalizing their selection of tech tools instead of accepting the large load of tools deployed by the TMC. In addition to that, since TMCs may not offer what the corporations need at the moment, it's possible that travel managers will choose to act more independently of their TMCs and source it themselves. However, the selection criteria may change if TMCs are able and willing to integrate with the tech providers chosen by the customers. The TMCs that offer this kind of flexibility will certainly succeed. But not all is lost for 2020. Although corporate travel has been stagnant because of the pandemic, there was a significant increase in distribution partnerships and startup acquisitions in the last few months. This can be attributed to the convergence between the financial turmoil resulting from COVID and the fact that legacy providers are repositioning their value proposition. In the last 6 months, several startups in business travel were purchased by established companies in the industry. Most of these startups were launched in the last few years and became disruptors in the corporate travel world, largely because of their tech-driven services. Given the situation of the buyer's market, acquiring startups at discounted prices is a good strategy for corporations that want to innovate and expand its capabilities. In fact, many mature corporations saw the crisis as an opportunity to boost their services, since companies like Where2, 30 Seconds to Fly, and Freebird have proven that they are here to stay. At the same time, smaller TMCs will most likely become resourceful distribution channels for innovators and companies that provide specialty services. This will allow for several reseller deals and other forms of partnerships. Without a doubt, the downtime in travel has allowed businesses to reevaluate their travel programs and understand what is working or not. This may be a great opportunity for travel managers to identify and implement necessary tech-based improvements. Now let's talk about the technological trends valuable for our industry. As I mentioned earlier, COVID fundamentally changed our lives, and one example of that is how it raised awareness and concerns regarding hygiene, which in turn increased reliability on virtual services, including contactless payment methods. Consequently, virtual cards and mobile wallets are gaining more popularity not only amongst individuals but also amongst corporations. The demand for virtual payments comes from spending managers who are looking for more security and better ways to control their costs. Furthermore, end suppliers are also accepting these forms of payment more often, which contributes to the growth of virtual payments. Mobile wallets aren't going anywhere anytime soon, and they're expected to expand even more, especially once employees resume their frequent trips. Another technological invention that is becoming more popular are integrated booking and expense models. It looks like the industry is shifting towards that direction as more providers start to offer both services concurrently. The ideal next step for these technologies that combine travel and expenses is to add tools that allow for payment in native currencies. In addition to that, several agencies are innovating by offering to help diversify their clients' data set in order to grant them a comprehensive view of travel, instead of just providing information about the itineraries booked through the channel. This data can be very beneficial for travel managers. There is definitely a shift towards automated and tech-driven tools at the moment, and the companies who adapt early on are more likely to succeed. The world is changing daily with COVID, so it's important to stay in the loop. We promise to bring you the latest news about business travel at Corporate Travel News, so your company can be ahead of the game. Don't miss out on our next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.